I think that military operation is going not so quickly as it was expected, because we know that in 2014, on those part of Ukrainian army who stay in Crimea took Russian side by 87%. And we believe that a big part of the Ukrainian army also would take Russian side as this. But it appears to be not. And the Ukrainian army, under the full control of the generals who under the control of United States and British officers, and they're really fighting. But nevertheless, military operation is going on. I should recall you that Americans take control over the Raqqa in Iraq. It took from them to them 2 months. Ukraine is much more bigger than Raqqa, and Ukraine much more bigger than whole Iraq. So maybe this operation will take 2 or 3 months, and probably 4 months. But nevertheless, Russian army will win. First of all, because the Russian army is more strong, and secondly, because majority of Ukrainian people support not Ukrainian army, but they support Russian army.
Earlier this week, I spoke to the former Ukrainian Prime Minister, Oleksiy Honcharuk, who gave me his take on President Putin's tactics.
His plan was to take our capital, to capture our capital, to kill our president, and to install the puppet government in Kiev in a couple of days, first couple of days. And he failed. Ukrainians are very brave, and they are fighting against Russian invaders in all possible ways in all regions of our country. Putin decided to change the tactics. He understood that he can't destroy our army, our Ukrainian troops, and he started destroying our civilians, our cities.
What do you make of that?
Russian plan from the beginning was not taking control of the big cities, and of course not taking control over the Kiev city. Russian plan was to surround the biggest group of Ukrainian army, which is stay in Donbass. And it is what Russian army is doing. Then Russian army is surrounding all the big cities of Ukraine and waiting when anti-fascists, step by step, probably will take power in those cities. If anti-fascists will be too weak to take fascists out of power, Russian army will help us civilians. We want to save them, not only because we're humanists, but because it's our people.
He went on to talk about Ukrainian military resistance.
In Ukraine, not only our troops, not only our army, not only our military troops are involved into this war. It's a war of all our nation. So even I'm a civilian, but I have a gun. I never had a gun before. And now I have a gun, and I'm ready to fight physically in Kiev if it will be necessary in the coming days. But it's not enough. It's not enough. We are paying a huge price for your freedom, guys, for your freedom. And we are only a first goal of Mr. Putin. He will go further.
Are you surprised at the level of resistance against the Russians?
For us, it was partly surprised that Ukrainian armies fight more strong than we predicted before. It was surprise. It's absolutely right. It's not a majority of Ukrainian people.
Is there any way diplomacy can end this war now, or has it gone too far?
It's very easily. There are only one guy who can stop war tomorrow. It's President of United States, Joe Biden, which officers fully control Kiev repressive regime. Russian demands this very, very easily. First of all, all political prisoners should be liberated in Ukraine. Then all neo-Nazi group should be prohibited. All war criminals should be arrested. And
the problem is that the West is accusing Russia of committing war crimes.
It's falsification. I'm saying about serious thing. During negotiation, believe me, even American diplomats don't talk about war crime from Russian side because they know that it's not true. And but I continue Russian mind. Prohibition of neo-Nazi groups, disarmament of neo-Nazi groups, stopping of political terror and political repression, liberation of all political prisoners, Russian language as a second official language in Ukraine. All war criminals should be arrested and should be under the investigation, and the neutrality of Ukraine in a constitution. So as in Austria after World War II, neutrality of Austria and big country became the guarantee of its neutrality. Same time should be for Ukraine.
Right.
Tomorrow.
You yourself have said President Putin had been lying for several months in the run-up to the attack on Ukraine. So can we really believe anything that's coming out of the Kremlin at the moment?
Yes, because I will tell you the truth. All politicians are lying.
Including Russian politicians?
Including Russian politicians. Russian politicians like less than American ones.
And President Putin, how far will he go?
Vladimir Putin, I think, will liberate southern Ukraine, eastern Ukraine, central Ukraine, but not western Ukraine. As western Ukraine, probably we prefer to have be neutral country, as already mentioned, in Austria or Finland, because we know very well that people on the western Ukraine does not like Russia. But people in the south and in eastern Ukraine like Russia very much.
All right, Mr. Markov, thank you very much for joining us here on The Agenda. Most grateful.
My pleasure.